What's up, beautiful people? Listen, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking this video, and it's titled "Trans Activists Shocked When Charlie Kirk Has Fire Response." Ooh, interesting. I'm excited to check some out here. What we gotta see. Let's check it out.
One of the weirdest eras in American history was the hippie era. People, I don't know what got into them, but they grew out their hair, had these weird mustaches and headbands, short shorts, smoked a ton of pot, did mushrooms, psychedelics, acid, and then they thought to themselves, let's join a cult and let's go off people. I'm so glad that era is over, or at least I thought. But come to find out, the hippies are back, and they are pro-trans and more brainwashed than ever. Oh man, it is terrible to see. But before we get into that, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Now, we're about to see this hippie in real time defending the Alphabet Mafia.
Hey, so I know you're buddy with Michael Knowles. Recently, he said the phrase, quote, we should eradicate transgenderism. And
that is, yeah, you got it right.
So I know you
From
agree with him.
public life, yeah.
I know you agree with him on some level. How would you go about that? How do you eliminate transgenderism without eliminating transgenders?
Okay, I warned you about this. I love the passion. Let the process play out, okay? Jeez. So specifically, he said transgenderism, right, which is an ideology, and he said
they're intertwined, like Judaism and Jewish people, like.
Well, hold on. He said from public life, okay? So.
Judaism and Jewish people are not intertwined. There are tons of secular Jews. I don't know what you're talking about. An Orthodox Jew and a secular Jew, you could put them side by side and you could look at their lives and they would be drastically different. Because a secular Jew does whatever he wants, and a Orthodox Jew likes to take trips to Israel and wear yarmulkes and read the Talmud and stuff like that.
So, yeah, that's not the best example. Just don't use that one. But let me kind of zero in on this. Yeah, I do agree with it 100%. The best way is that we should not be platforming or acting as if a mental delusion is normal, good for children, or something that is acceptable in decent society.
So, in what way is it? Okay, so throughout history, we've had these medical breakthroughs where we learn that things are just like how people are, you know? Who's to say that somebody is not born the wrong gender? Like, what is there? So I'm
Do it
just
again,
asking,
we're going to have to kick you out. Please don't interrupt.
how do you know that what's happening right now isn't like a medical breakthrough? How do you know it is a mental illness to be eradicated?
Yeah, 5,000 years of recorded history and common sense that men can't
But
give
back
birth.
in history, were there not like skeletons being dug up with female artifacts around them? Were there not sculptures of two married women? I mean, it's been a thing forever. It's been,
Whoa, are you conflating like homosexuality and transgenderism? Okay, there's levels to this. All right, there's levels to this hippie boy. Okay, being an effeminate man and being buried with, I don't know, feminine things, being dug up with that, didn't mean you wanted to chop off your wang wang.
Exactly.
Okay, let's just throw that out there. Yeah, homosexuality's been around for a freaking long time. That doesn't mean that people wanted to chop off their pecker and you know, become women. That's just so illogical. It's crazy that you get there. But that's what happens when you guys take mushrooms, do acid, and you become a hippie. You get brainwashed. Either it's brainwashed by a cult leader or it's brainwashed by the leftist agenda. Pick your poison. Pick your poison.
transgenderism,
Let's play this out.
LGBTQ.
So how do I know that biological reality is true?
I'm
Chromosomes.
not arguing about biological reality.
Yeah, my chromosomes instruct my opinion first and foremost. So XX, XY chromosomes, and I reject the term gender. Actually, it's sex, and you have a sex at birth, and you cannot change that. So let me just kind of ask a question. Medical advancements, the medical community can be very wrong. We used to do lobotomies, and I'm glad we stopped doing that. So doctors have been wrong before. And in fact, doctors have been wrong about a lot of things over the last 100 years. And in fact, if all of a sudden the medical consensus from the AMA, which is headquartered right down the street, by the way, is that we have to have these pediatric gender-affirming reassignment clinics that have breast reduction surgery or literally mastectomies for 12 or 13-year-olds to then assign them Lupron, estrogen, and testosterone treatment for somebody that might just be going through puberty and having anxiousness and unease, I'm probably going to call that doctor a fraud, and any person with common sense should do that too.
Yeah, exactly. Important note that I want to distinguish right here is that he rejects the term gender. He says it's just sex. Now, you'll see people like Ben Shapiro, and they'll actually defend gender. There's a difference here, because gender was used as like the Trojan horse to segue in this social construct of what gender is. And that's why it is most likely in your best interest to also reject the construct of gender and stick to sexes, male, female. Makes the most sense. It lines up with biology. It's the best out there. But it is interesting to see Ben Shapiro argue for, arguably, people would say, kind of a point in the slippery slope where, hey, we're going to distinguish gender from sex, and then we're going to slowly start deconstructing gender, but not sex, but gender. Interesting stuff.
Okay, super quick.
Absolutely true. The pointer or the part where Charlie said or talked about doctors, yeah, doctors have been wrong before. They're human. They're human beings like us. And you expect to believe human beings to tell you that you can change your gender when God created you, or that you can change who you are, change and cut your genitals. It honestly don't make sense. I mean, they've been telling you that you can transition or you can transfer from male to be female and vice versa, but they've not come up with a way that they can change your chromosome. So what does that tell you? But of course, nobody want to talk about that. They want to instill and bring all of this to children. I mean, I don't even understand. Back in the day, we understand and we get the era where there was homosexuality. Yeah, correct, absolutely. Nobody was confused. Nobody was having an issue with it, because everybody know their lane, stayed in their lane, and we're perfectly fine. But now bringing it on to children, say they are born in the wrong body. How? God created you that way. God created man and woman, Adam and Eve, man, male and female. There was nothing, no confusion. But all of a sudden, they just want to confuse people and tell you that, oh, you can change from being a man to a woman by using medical or what. And all of a sudden, you just start behaving like a girl or behaving like a woman as a biological male. Does it even make sense? Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't even believe that we're actually talking about this. The fact that we are talking about this in the society just goes to tell you the place we are at right now. And honestly, I've said it before, some of these kids or some of these students, they just follow the talking point that people instill or people say. Some of them don't even know what they are saying. So I don't even, like, sometimes I just be like, nah, these people are not, like, they are not ready for what the real world is or what the real world looks like. Because, I mean, they follow the narrative that people tell them or people push because they are meant or taught to believe what is not true or what is not facts. You want to believe the exact same doctor that's a human being as you and not God who created you the way you are? Really? But yeah, let's go on.
Okay, super quick. Last thing. So, my main question was about the term eradicate transgenderism.
Yeah, sure. Can I give you some examples?
Yeah, sure.
We shouldn't teach it in our schools. We also shouldn't allow men to compete against women in NCAA sports. Okay.
what about the people who are transgender that have converted, are currently
How about
transgender?
this? So why
Would you
couldn't-
forcefully detransition them?
Yeah, how
or
about
what's the plan?
why couldn't Thomas still compete against men despite his mental delusion? Why do we have to reaccommodate all female sports for a single individual that obviously has an advantage with bone density and testosterone production? Why is it now our problem? Why does society have to reorganize and reconfigure for one
person.
very loud, obviously disturbed person? Wouldn't it be more fair to say, okay, you have a problem, so keep competing in the category that you were born to? You can still wear whatever you want, I guess,
exactly.
and dress and do the treatments you want, but since you're such an excellent swimmer, go swim against boys. Oh, because he's a narcissist and he used to finish 200 against boys, and when he competes against girls, he wins the championship because he's a cheat.
I'm literally snoozing. I am literally snoozing right now. Boring, same old spiel as ever from Charlie Kirk, and like, I don't mean to be extremely disrespectful or rude here, but I'm serious. This is the same old thing. He asked, how would you eradicate transgenderism? What would you do? And you do this politician answer where you go and you talk about an extreme example of transgenderism of occupying sports. So we eradicate that. We get rid of it. You still don't answer the kid's question, which is, how would you eradicate the ideology of transgenderism? And I guess your response is a long-winded way of saying that transgenders are narcissists. So if we just remove their ability to have narcissistic pleasure, then maybe that would make it to where that ideology would no longer work for them and they would figure out something else. But that is crazy far-fetched for me. That is like so far out there. I'm not willing to believe it. I'm not willing to believe that that's your actual solution, is to get rid of this ideology by removing them from sports. Really? Get them out of women's sports? That's going to fix this? Yeah, I don't think so. I think the entire medical industry needs reform, mass reformation, top to bottom. I think that we need to get down to the root of the medical industry and figure out what's going on there. And hint, the thing that's going on there is that there was an owner of the medical industry named Mr. John D. Rockefeller. And he had an agenda, and not one that benefited the American people, one that benefited his pockets.
Exactly true.
Ridiculous. So yeah, if you really want to figure out a way to remove this ideology, I would say fixing our medical industry, not removing them from sports. What is that like? I don't get that. Just because you put a stop to the current trend doesn't mean you're actually fixing the problem. Sorry, Charlie. Sorry.
Because it's all about him, not about the competition or about fairness.
Okay, I mean, that's all I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm sure you got your question answered. Take away the sports, huh? Listen, Charlie, sometimes he's dead on and sometimes he's not. Sometimes these people are just a little bit too soft for me. At least I think. Like, I get it. That might even resonate well with you.
True.
You might even think that that was a fire talking point and that Charlie was straight spitting. And that's because you are emotionally responding and you're not actually thinking rationally and thinking to yourself, let's get down to the root of this. Will this actually prevent? Is that actually a real solution? Or could people just not compete in sports, still go to the doctor's office at 12, 13 years old, and still just get double mastectomies and still get puberty blockers? Yeah, they still could, because that happens whether they're in sports or not. So that was not a great answer, but I'm sure that did well on Facebook, and I'm sure that a lot of people really thought that that was fire. And I want to address one more thing, because in the last video, I said that I don't think women should be insulted when a man dresses up as a woman and plays pretend, because that's not a woman, and you guys should not be insulted by somebody playing in La La Land. in fairy tale land, and you guys were telling me that is insulting, actually. As a matter of fact, that is insulting to you, and you don't like that, and that's demeaning and belittling. And here's what I want to tell you guys, okay? I want to encourage you guys. I want to let you know that, one, I love you. Give me a smoochie. Just kidding, not really. But one, that you guys really shouldn't let this affect you to where you get on and you see this stuff and you're so upset because that offends you. You can't let that happen.
Exactly.
I hope you guys like that one, because I saw you guys were upset. Didn't like that. You guys were offended that I said that. And I'm just like, what the heck? What the heck, man? Oh, jeez. Anyways, that's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Thank you for this, because this is absolutely true. For them to say, okay, how do they eradicate transgenderism, starting from the medicals, from the doctor, from the medical professionals that prescribe all of these drugs, because I mean, the person who initiated it, just like I said, is to enrich his pocket and is for his financial gain, and that is true. Because when there is a market for it, when people come in and chop off their genitals, take pills, take drugs and all of that, who does it go to? Not your pocket, because those who are spending the money, they are spending it from their pocket and it's getting to somebody. That's the one way to eradicate it. Number two, from the schools, the teachers who are educating people to this, to go to the hospital to do and all of this, and all of the recommendation and all of that, to tell them that, oh, you can't be these things. Also start it from the schools. Those teachers are also part of the problem, because once they are teaching and telling these kids or telling people that they can do this, they buy into it and be like, yeah, they believe their teacher, because they are meant to trust their teachers. So when you have this series of these people out in the way, then I don't think lots of people would want to buy into any of this. It's because now it's becoming so marketable that lots of people they now have so many branches where people can get all of this information for free, because they trust these people with the information, and all of this is built on trust. So you get that? There are so many ways, there are so many places. Not just only sports. And yeah, what he said in the last part is right. People shouldn't get offended because somebody is playing a fairy tale or playing a role, believing or making them to be a girl. I mean, even lots of people who play or act to be Superman and they know they are not Superman. Does Superman get offended? No. Sometimes when I look at these people, I look at them and be like, well, you believe you are a girl. Well, that is your belief. It is not my belief. So don't force it on me, because I am not supposed and I am not meant to believe in what you believe in. And that is absolutely true. But again, this is an interesting conversation to have. Lots of these kids, they don't know what they're saying. Some of them, they're just following the talking point or following things that they heard from people or they hear from people just because it sounds nice and the crowd is saying it. So to them, it is convenient to follow the crowd, because I mean, that is what is presented to them. But does that mean it to be true? The answer is no. You don't follow all of these people who live in their delusion and think it is right. Somebody might see the sky and tell you the sky is pink, and you're seeing the sky and say the sky is blue. Just because the person is living in a fairy tale or living in a certain world doesn't make it true. Because they trust these people, they trust the teachers, they trust the medical professionals, they trust the doctors. So these people are telling them that yes, it will work, and making them believe that it will work. So when they have people that they can trust that would make their fantasy, make their delusion come to reality, then you understand why there is a market for it, why people would push this forward. Now you need more people that would be pushing the right information regarding this, because these people have found a way to gain the trust from their patients, or gain the trust from people who are listening to them. And I mean, you trust your teachers, you trust your medical professional, you trust your doctor. So I mean, lots of people don't even ask the question, because they believe that these people know better, and they are bound or are known to be telling them the right information. So lots of people will not doubt all of this. They will not be doubting them, because I mean, all of this information is built on trust, and that is how these people know how to get the information out there. Well, yeah, this is an interesting conversation. I always love to listen to other people and hear what they've got to say regarding topics like this. But all the same, I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share, and I really love your honest contribution. You can share all the useful information I think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.